So it's time to do the brake upgrade, and there's the old disc from the other side just there. There's the new disc going on, new calipers, new carrier and new steering limiter just there. And it's basically a pretty straightforward brake pad disc change, just with a couple of exceptions. So we'll crack on and get the wheel off. So it's off with the pad retaining spring. And then it's time to get the carrier, the caliper bolts, slide bolts off. And they're just a 7mm Allen key, and there's 2 of those. Then before removing the caliper, if you just follow the flexible hose up to here, because I'm fitting new hoses as well. This is the connection just in there, and basically we've got that's 14mm on there, and under all the dirt and everything is a 13mm counter hold. You can just see it just there, and I would strongly recommend before doing anything you give everything a good wire brushing and use penetrating fluid as well, otherwise you could end up having problems before you've even begun. So I'm going to crack on cleaning that. Then I'll just keep on doing this, don't worry about the fluid loss, because you're going to do a full brake fluid change anyway. And you just keep on doing this until this hose comes clear. I'm going to take off the caliper. Brings the hose with it. Take off the old pad, and the carriers just 2 bolts here and here, and they're held on with 15s. Off that comes, and off comes the steering arm. We'll take off the disc retaining screw, and then the disc should come off. And because you don't get to go in here very often, it's going to be brake cleaner, sandpaper, wire brush, and it's just going to be everywhere, just cleaning up the whole area, and in particular this mating surface. See this ring here and that ring there? That's what mates with the disc, so that you want absolutely nothing on there, so you want that completely smooth. All these bits of old grease stuff, just get rid of all of that. Now, because the new carrier, the new caliper carrier, takes 14mm bolts compared to the old 12mm, I'm going to have to drill out the hub from 12mm to 14mm. So I've got that ready, and I'll do that now. Should be pretty easy because it's just aluminium. You can reuse your old steering limiters if you want to, but you'd need to get them drilled out, and you'd need to get some 14mm bolts as well. The problem with drilling these out is that they're really difficult, so you probably have to get a machine shop or something to do it, whereas drilling out the hub is pretty straightforward. make sure the new bolts go through. Perfect. Great, it's time to fit all the new stuff. Just giving it a quick once over with the sandpaper, just in case there's any burrs, anything sticking out, and just make sure those mating surfaces are dead clean. So now we've got this really nice surface, I'm just going to put a very thin layer of Ceratec brake grease all the way around this outer ring and then all the way around this inner ring. Then I'll also be putting it on the pad springs where they clip into the carrier, into the caliper, and a tiny bit on the backing and also on the carrier itself, just a tiny bit in these grooves, no splodges, you don't want anything squishing out, just a tiny bit there, and all with this brake grease. It's time to fit the new disc. And you know you've greased it just nicely. See how it just turns silently there. And it fits nice and flush as well. I'll put in the retaining bolt just there. And then just tighten it up by hand. Just wrist tight, that's it. You don't need any tools to tighten that. That's on. Lovely. Now these are coated discs that I'm putting on. That means that there's no preparation for them. You don't need to clean them or anything like that. They're ready to go on, and the friction of the pads will wear off this protective coating, and they'll come up silver. Then the hub will stay that colour, but these will come up shiny silver, just like the rear ones that I've put on. I'll show you those. So when I did my handbrake the other week, you can see how it's got that coated inner part on the hub, but the disc itself is shiny, and that's what happens when the pads bed into it. So no coatings, rather no cleaning of these discs. And I'll put some thread locker on the carrier bolts. And then we'll place them just in there. Then we get the carrier. Place that in there, and then we'll just screw on these bolts here. And just check your clearance. Perfect. Then we'll put the new pads into the caliper. This one with the hole here goes on the outside. And that little bit of brake grease really helps, just getting these in. Piston's already been pushed back in, so they're ready just to go straight on. What I'm going to do, I'm going to take this brake hose off and I'm going to fit that now. And then all I'll be doing is getting the brake hose just here and screwing it into there, so you basically have to just turn the caliper around the brake hose, so pretty difficult to film. Okay, so now the hose is on there and it's connected up there. I'm just going to tighten those up, reinsert the pins, see them just there, just tighten 1, 2 down at the bottom there, and then I'll just pop on the pad retaining spring. And there we go, a 316mm brake upgrade. And so all I need to do now is just I'll do a gravity bleed to get the air out of the caliper, and then I'll do a full pressure bleed of the system, get the pedal feel back, just all standard brake stuff really. This video is really just to show you how to get the upgrade done, but I'll put a link in the description for my pressure bleeding video. And there we go, and I hope you find that useful.